Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Elder Emmanuel Malabite Efeni. Great Malabite.
Great.
Good morning, Ruben.
Action.
Good morning, Rufa.
It's good to have you back.
Good morning, Adesina. I'm excited, and I can see excitement.
I'm excited to have you back.
Glad to have you back.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll start with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of records. Yes, the lead story. More states trigger red alert. Prepare to ward off renegade herdsmen. On presidency's behest, Southwest governors to meet Meitiala today. Oyo government delegation, CP taught trouble spots, Saraki sue for peace. Headers assembling in Nasarawa, says Benue government. Of course, let's just look at how Vanguard is reporting this story as well as the Punch. Then we'll talk about it. Vanguard newspaper, tension as Ondo governor's 7-day ultimatum to headers expires as presidency drives peace talks between Southwest governors Meitiala. Police Oyo government delegation visit Ibarakpa to broker peace between Fulani Igongon residents. We just move over to the Punch newspaper, also reported this story. Igongon Fulani crisis. Town presents evidence. Alleges headers collected 50 million ransoms, raped 15 women. Monarchs orders present pictorial evidence of ransoms, disease victims to government. Local government chairman, community leader accuse Fulani leaders of negotiating ransoms. Fulani herdsmen leaders beg for forgiveness, pledge peaceful coexistence. Yes, now looking at this story, Ruben, Rufai, and Adesua, it's a good thing the presidency is driving this peace initiative compared to the response we had from the presidency, and I will put that presidency in quotes, signed by Garba Shehu, responding to Governor Akeredolu's ultimatum, as it were. It was like pouring petrol on fire. And I wonder, Ruben, you should know whether that is the stuff you get from the presidency or that is just the making of a presidential spokesman. But going forward, Ruben, you refer to the CP of Oyo State, Ngozi Onadeko. That's why she's a woman, not delivering a slavish message like a slave. But she did it like a true Nigerian and a true patriot. She's been in that zone to talk peace instead of just obeying the last order from the IG, arrest that guy. What's his name again? So you can see that the federal government can drive peace than take sides. Ruben, you refer to what Obasanjo did to Gani Adams and his OPC when he was in government. He did not spare them. Is President Muhammadu Buhari sparing renegade headers? It's a question we must think about and answer. Ruben, Rufa, Adesua, my sister.
I mean, there are many sides to it. Okay, so talk about you.
No, go ahead.
I mean, there are many sides to it. But I think for who captured all of this properly for me was Dr. Festus Adebayo, in his article on Sunday in the Premium Times, where he talked extensively about all the dramatist personnel. And he cited even the antecedents of Sunday Igboho and what he's fighting for now and what has become of that region. And he asked some very salient questions. And questions like, could this we are doing now to make peace have been done many, many years ago? He also cited the constant reportage of a very good friend of mine, Edmond Obilo, that had even gone ahead to interview Seriki of the Fulani people there, and he had put these allegations to Seriki, and nothing was said in return. He just denied it blatantly. This calls for governmental intervention. As regards security, we keep going back to the point that the essence of government is to secure lives and property. Government should not be seen as partial. Government should not be seen as taking sides. And it's evident here that government is ready to make peace. So did we have to go to the point where Sunday Igboho had to go back on Friday to effect this, and Governor Akeredolu had to bring about a vacate order before government stepped in. That's the federal government, yeah. That's the critical question we should ask ourselves. So if Governor Akeredolu or Sunday Igboho are not taking these measures, the government will not step into this recalcitrant, bandits around this area that have killed people, that have maimed the livelihoods. Igogo Ibarakpa area is the food basket of Nigeria, I dare say, because most people go there to plant and export most of this product. They can't go to their farms. I know friends that have farms in that area that have vacated their farms because of these bandits around here. So we should ask ourselves critically the question about our country.
Well, a number of points need to be restated in addition to what I said earlier when we took this in the airlines. One, I think it's dangerous, the ethnic slant that the conversation around some criminal elements in parts of the Southwest, in Ondo State and Oyo State, the ethnic slant that conversation has assumed. The presidency, when it issued its statement, said, look, there must be a separation between dealing with criminality and going overboard to put an ethnic cloak on it. So when people are labeled as criminals and they are called Fulani criminals, that in itself goes to the heart of the national question and the concerns that have been raised about the right of Nigerians to live and work peacefully in several parts of the country. But in this particular conversation, in Ondo State and in Oyo State, there's been a lot of conflation. And I hope that the effort to make sure that this is resolved will be looking at that ethnicization of the politics of it and make sure that there is no escalation. Now, over the weekend, Sunday Igboho went to Igangan in Ibarakwa East to enforce the ultimatum that he had given. Quite interesting that an individual who is an ethnic gladiator will come up and give an ultimatum and he will enforce it, because he successfully enforced it. The other deadline in Ondo State today is today.
Yes.
The governor of Ondo State saying people must leave the forest reserves. And the OPC has stepped forward in Ondo State's case to say we will enforce it today. So I'm hoping that the OPC will not have any cause to enforce anything violently because of the meeting that has been called today. Earlier on, I talked about gladiators, about stakeholders who had waded into the matter. Now, those stakeholders have phrased the conversation, again, along ethnic conflict lines. I do not think that that is helpful. I mentioned quite a number of persons who may have seen to have come from the Southwest, but also from the northern part. We have had certain persons, including the Arewa Consultative Forum and certain elements from the north, saying that this is a prescription for civil war. If anybody from the northern part of the country is attacked in the Southwest. We have also had the case in Ogun State of soldiers, Nigerian soldiers, being used to move back a community of herdspersons and traditional rulers in the Yewa region of Ogun State being flogged by soldiers. Now, that is also not helpful, because what it will show is give the impression that the federal government of Nigeria under President Buhari is empowering an ethnic agenda. And I think that at all levels, we need to make this separation. We can talk about criminality and how to deal with criminality on a consensus basis. But to put religion on it and put ethnicity on it is not something we can really afford as a country. More so again, I think over the weekend, Nnamdi Kanu of IPOB was already also speaking up and saying, well, this was what they did to Igbos. Yeah. Now, that conversation is not really helpful.
Let's leave Kanu out of this matter. Yeah. Adesua, leave the forest reserve is not leave Ondo State.
Yeah. Exactly.
And other states are also ready to adopt this kind of position. You don't just come, occupy the forest, and do whatever you like there, and allow criminals to live among you doing your herders' business.
Indeed. And, you know, the distinction was made by the Ondo State government to say that the forest reserves are different from the general forest. Nobody is saying you cannot graze. However, do not graze at night. Do not allow your cattle roam around the cities, you know, and the cities and during the night. But do not tamper with the forest reserves. And there are many reasons for that. We talk about climate change and our commitment to climate change and preserving biodiversity. But how do we do this? By allowing cattle graze or unguarded? But thank you for raising what the Commissioner of Police did in Oyo State. And I think that it is very critical, because what we are seeing is many layers of failure of leadership here. Our words are very powerful. And we've seen that in the space of these developments in Oyo and Ondo State, we've seen leaders who fail to use their words properly, who are fanning the embers of growing ethnic nationalism. People are seeing themselves as Yorubas, Igbos, Edos, Fulani before they see themselves as Nigerians. It is dangerous, and leaders should lead rightly.
Right.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel Efeni. It's good to have you back.
And I'd like to say welcome, 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 welcome back to you.
Sure,
I'm so happy.